Before we jump into today's episode, we want to thank one of our incredible sponsors. Pool Engineering and Surveying has been helping shape communities across the Florida Panhandle for decades. From residential developments to large commercial projects, their team helps turn ideas into reality, safely, efficiently, and professionally. If you're building, developing, or planning your next project, visit Pool Engineering and Surveying to learn more. Pool Engineering and Surveying, building the communities where retirement dreams come true. Today's episode is particularly a fun episode. We're going to be talking about something that brings people together faster than almost anything else: food, fire, friends, and outdoor living. We're going to welcome Les and Darlene Lewis, owners of American Patio and Fireplace. They help customers design beautiful outdoor living spaces that truly become an extension of their homes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
Well, let's kick this pig and throw it on the grill. Thank you guys for coming in today. How did you get started in outdoor cooking and living?
Well, we've been in this business for 32 years, and it was not what it is today. We started out with a small little PVC pipe furniture store, and it just evolved over the years into what it is today. So, being in patio furniture led to, well, we're outdoors, so maybe we should add something else. So we added grills, and then the grills led to fireplaces, and fireplaces to fire pits, and so on. So that's how we got to where we are today.
That's awesome. So, Darlene, tell us, what's the first thing when I come in there you're going to tell me when I tell you I want an outdoor living room?
Outdoor living room. Okay, so that covers one category out of four that our store handles, but that is outdoor furnishings. So I assume that you're there to buy outdoor furnishings and not the other categories. We, years ago, everybody through the door was looking for dining sets, and now I would say that 80% of the people through the door are looking for like a living room type set. So I'll figure out what you want. Do you want dining? Do you want living room? If you wanted either category, there's so many choices within there. It's almost as many choices for the outside as you have for the inside. I need to know how many people if you're doing a dining set, how many people you are trying to seat. We have tables that are 100 inches long and can put 8 chairs on each side, or just the traditional 48-inch round with 4 chairs. So I'm going to fill you out and see what you have space for and what your needs are.
Do people typically know what they want when they come in the store?
I would say less people know exactly what they want than people that are there for ideas.
How do you lead them to figure it out?
They'll tell me what their ideas were, and I ask usually do you have pictures? And so many of them do when they're serious buyers, because we have kind of the more on the higher end furnishing side, so they're going to make an investment and buy furniture that's going to last, in Florida's harsh climate with our heat and our humidity. So oftentimes I'll even have to go to their house to kind of feel it out and see what they think that they want and what they have space for. Often differ.
So that's probably something you have to think about. Okay,
Yeah,
I want this, but this is more practical.
Take it into
This
square
will fit.
footage and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
What are outdoor spaces becoming another living room, do you think, where people spend as much time there as inside?
Definitely. I'm sure everybody has seen these deep covered spaces. So they're protected from the sun, and they have, really moderate temperatures once the sun goes down. So people are living out there. They put their TVs out there. They'll have water features and fire features and cooking. So, I know personally, we spend a lot of time outside.
What role does furniture play in a gathering, like comfort? If you want a lot of people, how do you design for that?
It depends on how each family uses their outdoor space differently, and each family has different composition. For retirees, a lot of time it's just extra, more friends. There's not as many little kids running around. So it's a little more sophisticated, way more comfortable, way more stylish.
Yeah. When someone builds an outdoor kitchen, how often is it really about creating a place to gather instead of cooking? What do you think?
Well, it depends on the customer. Like when they come in and they want to design a kitchen, there's a process we go through. Some are just checking a box. I just want an outdoor kitchen. And some people come in and they want a place to hang out and cook. I think it's a combination of both. And as we get older, the 55 and up crowd, it's way more about the entertaining part and getting what I want and not checking a box. Really talking to them like, what kind of a grill are you, letting them know it's not just a gas grill anymore. There's pellet grills that you can build into the cabinet, which are, you just set the temperature and cook on. There's Kamados, which Stuart has a Primo Kamado, which is a charcoal grill that you can build into a cabinet. So you kind of really talk to them and find out what they want and then incorporate it into the cabinet. So, the process is pretty long. We'll talk about, how much space do you have? Is it going to go against the wall? Are you going to be entertaining a lot of people, or is this just for you and your wife? So the whole process takes a while. So it's a little bit of everything. It really depends on the customer, but I do think that the 55 and older crowd is more into the entertaining, multi-day thing, not just on the weekends. They can find themselves out on a Tuesday having a party on the patio.
How have you seen the grilling change since you started having grills, which has been a long time ago? I think I bought a grill from you like 30 years ago. Mm-hmm.
It's no longer the Weber grill with a bag of charcoal. It has really evolved.
And it's kind of fun though, for us to follow this market. But absolutely, it has changed. Like the accessories that you can do. Like one of our biggest combinations is a gas grill and a power burner. A power burner is just a larger burner that has some accessories that you can put a griddle on, or you can cook a wok. So you can use this one component can be used for 3 different things. And so when people find out, all of these options that they have, that opens up what they can do outside. But, the big pellet grill thing, the griddles, which, you're cooking like a Japanese steakhouse, kind of, it's on a hard surface and you can cook just
pretty
about
large.
anything. Yeah, you can get very large ones, but I think most people don't need a super large one built in. So, tend to do 24 to 20 inch size griddles with another type of grill. So watching the market change and seeing all the new stuff, under counter stuff like appliances, as we get older, a refrigerator, under counter fridge, just open the door and getting stuff out. Well, it's made easier with a drawer. So using a drawer fridge, and just pulling something out, than having to bend down on one knee and get stuff out, it's a big deal.
So I think one of the ways that it's changed in the 32 years we've been in business is that anything that you can do on the inside kitchen is now available on the outside kitchen. There is just as many storage options with storage drawers, all different sizes and door openings. There's refrigeration, all different kinds of refrigeration. I would say as many refrigeration options there are inside, there are outside, ice makers, warming drawers. So where it used to be just the cooking grill, now it's a full kitchen.
So go ahead.
Excuse me. So, people, retired, seniors, what makes you think they like cooking outdoors versus indoors more? Cooking more outdoors rather than cooking indoors?
I don't know that they like it more. I just think they have more available time to do it. Mm-hmm. When you're not at that point in your life, you're Monday through Friday, you don't have time for it. But as you get the time now, like I said, like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, you're like, hey, you guys come over, let's have cocktails and grill out, and sit outside, watch TV. You can have the fire pit on, and just have a whole different vibe. And I think it just, at that age, you're able to do it more.
Right.
And
Well,
it's healthy. It's healthy to be outside.
Oh,
In
absolutely.
the fresh air. And, I guess there are studies that show being outside make you healthier physically and healthier mentally. So if we can get cooking and that whole entertaining scene outside.
We can make you live longer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In community, remember that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just listened to this, that people who participate with their community or have social relationships live a lot longer. You age 12 times faster. Just heard that yesterday.
Well, I like cooking outside rather than in because I don't have to clean up the kitchen.
Yeah. And you're not
But
heating
I
up
do
the
keep
kitchen.
my grill area clean.
Well, that's important.
And some things are more fun to cook outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're doing something barbecue ribs are more fun to cook outside than in an oven.
Absolutely.
Pizza on a outdoor pizza oven is fun. It's more fun.
Absolutely.
So, do you have like a story where putting in a kitchen or outdoor living area has changed somebody's life?
Well,
Yours.
most of our customers, will.
I've seen some of your kitchens. They're
A lot of our customers. I actually sent you a video not long ago of a kitchen we did. That customer had bought a grill from us, just a cart grill, 20 years ago, and she had it for up until this project. And they're at a point at this time that they could spend a lot of money and do something really cool. And those are the type of people, that they're ready. They want that outdoor space that, like Darlene was saying, where it's bringing the indoor out, and you can do everything out there that she can cook inside. And there's something, I have people too that they don't want to cook fish inside.
No.
They don't want to, cook spicy stuff or spices inside. If you're cooking Asian food or Indian food, it's a lot of spices. So being outside helps with that. But I don't have a specific customer, but I could probably
All of them?
get a bunch of them to tell you they love their spaces.
But to your point, as people become less able to leave their homes and to travel as much as they used to, then when their house has this outdoor space, it gives them another, place to enjoy without
Place to
leaving.
visit.
living on vacation.
A staycation, yeah.
Yes. So, what are some of the biggest mistakes people make when planning outdoor living spaces?
Oh,
One of the biggest mistakes is,
see if yours is the same as mine that I'm thinking of.
I'm sure it's not.
Okay.
Is people will come in and they'll go, oh, I want this, and I want this, and this, and I want this, and I have 7 feet. And you're like,
I only have this much place to put
right.
it all.
And so, that's a big part of the design. Like right away, we want to figure out the space. Like, how much space do you have? And then we can start talking about, what can go in that cabinet. Because there is a little bit of an order of operation where, the grill is your diamond in your cabinet. So that's important. And then prep space. If you don't have prep space, then it's not going to be a great place to cook. And then you start adding things into the cabinet and where you're going to place them. So I would say that I see the most is people thinking too much.
It's not really mistakes. It's unrealistic expectations. Same
Right.
with the furniture. They want all this furniture and they have a 10 by 10 space. You're like, well, choose between A, B, and C. Choose one of them because same with the kitchen.
I'd love
Yeah.
for you to have it, but
Right. So we kind of guide them.
So, when seniors are considering their outdoor space, what are some things that you tell them and guide them toward?
Definitely,
Simplicity.
yes, simplicity, but definitely making sure the space is usable. Like in Florida, people, they'll go, I'm just going to put it out on the pool deck. But, you got to have a cover. If it's on the pool deck
It's
in
gonna
Florida, you got to have a plan. So we do a lot of pergolas and like pavilion type structures, which is kind of nice too when you separate it from the house. Now you actually have a space to walk to that feels a little separate, and so that's kind of a nice thing. But outside in Florida, you got to have a cover, and it needs to be a cleanable space too. You don't want to have too much stone that's hard to clean, or a type of stone that's hard to clean.
Well, and another thing is some of these grills have become so high tech, and you have to have an app, and you have to, sometimes more simple products are just easier, more comfortable for them.
For sure on that one. What about comfort versus maintenance? Or do you work with?
For furniture,
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on their budget. Some people have people. If they have people,
Kim's got people.
Otherwise, the last thing you want to be doing is going out and vacuuming your furniture outside all the time. And so there is a balance between comfort and low maintenance. And I always talk about that.
And a lot of places, not just Florida, all across the South, we talk mold. And you leave your cushions out for a month or two, and they already start molding pretty quickly. So are there small design choices they can make that for smaller spaces that make it more comfortable that you tell people?
Don't overload it. Don't overload it, because you do need mobility, especially when you get older. Maybe you're going to need a walker, but you still, even if you don't have a walker, you still want to be mobile and be able to get around. But so many people want to crowd that space. So I have them pull back.
That's the big thing, obviously.
What about fireplaces in the outdoor living area?
This is all.
So we do a lot of fireplaces.
Even though we live here in Florida.
Even though we live here in Florida, we do a lot of indoor fireplaces too, but we do a lot of outdoor fireplaces. And it's a great thing to have. First of all, we have on our patio, and we use them all the time. You have to really consider, like when you're doing a fireplace, you have to consider the furniture. How are we going to sit around this? So on a patio, a lot of times the fire pit is a little bit more patio, ish. It'll fit better on a patio. But we do a lot of fireplaces when you have a nice wall where you can put a seating group around it. So when you're outdoor, a really good option is some of the built-in linear fireplaces have lighting. So now in Florida, it's year-round. So now you can have the light on. You don't have to have the fire on. So you can use it all year round. So no matter what, 100 degrees in July, you can flip the lights on. You don't have to put the flame on. So I feel like it makes it a more usable product than something you just don't look at for a couple months during the year.
Yeah.
How do grill selection and design work together?
The grill, I like the customer. Once we figure out the size that they're going, the space that they have, I like to get the grill next, because some people want a 24-inch grill. Some people want a 30. Some people want a 54-inch grill. So you have to really know how much space you have. And so once you pick the grill and you know your space, then you have to start thinking about, where's it going to go? Am I putting a hood over it? Ventilation is an important thing to think about when you're installing under a roof. So if I'm going to put the grill and the hood here, and my water's over there, I'm going to have the sink. So where am I going to put the garbage can? So it's all related, and so you really have to put a lot of thought into the layout of an outdoor kitchen. And there's other things that, this is why you should find a local professional when you do this, because when you build an outdoor kitchen, there are things that you need to know about venting. These things, if you're doing a gas, if you don't do it right, it could be a problem. So, you want to, when you install these, you want somebody that has a license and knows what they're doing to do it. So all that goes back to design. When you're picking your products, it kind of leads the design of the outdoor kitchen.
Plus, on a screen porch, that smoke fills up pretty fast.
Well,
my hood doesn't work that good.
Well, people think that a screen is but it doesn't. A screen holds smoke in.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Usually, if our summer kitchens are under a roof, even if it's abutted by screen on 2 sides or even 3 sides, we use a vent hood. If you can, if you have a 2-story house, and then that's how we help people select where they're going to put their summer kitchen. Sometimes it just don't work under a hut, under their roof.
And we have to get creative sometimes with how we're venting, a grill, because gas grills work off of smoke. That's how you get your flavor. The juices fall in, and there's some kind of flavorizer or briquettes that each grill company will use. Create smoke, comes back to the food, and that's where you get your grilling flavor. So the volume of smoke that's produced by a grill is 10 times what you produce inside. So that's why if you have ventilation, it needs to be the correct ventilation.
But that's a nice area for design too, because some of the vent hoods outside are as pretty as the vent hoods inside.
Why are outdoor spaces important in retirement?
Well, I think going back to earlier, it's a social outlet. Your friends come over, you're outside, so, socially it can, I think that's important as we get on. You want your friends and your family over.
Plus, you see, the family, that's huge. You can have multi-generational get-togethers around your outdoor living space and not be overcome by the noise and the running around.
For sure. When you have grandkids, because you're talking about the retirement community, when you have your grandkids, if the kitchen's outside and you have good furniture outside, you can get the children outside. And the noise.
Yeah, almost all of our get-togethers, like when we have friends or family, whatever, almost all of ours are outside. I mean, it just, we migrate that way and just assume that that's what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, especially now that we have the kids, they're out there with their little toys in the yard while everything, and we don't have to be up in the kitchen while they're down outside playing.
Can you give us some tips that they can think about if they're planning on building these outdoor spaces?
My tip for seniors, people 55 and up that are thinking about this kind of thing, don't build something for somebody else. Don't build something thinking about resale. That's past. It's time to do something for yourself. So when you do this, think about yourself. Think about, what do I want to do? I want to, this pellet grill sounds cool. I'm going to do that. Or I want a gas grill and I want this kind of side burner and I want that fridge for me. I'm not, I don't care. Like my personal summer kitchen, I have 2 power burners side by side. It's not, we don't do that very often, but that's how I cook. And that's what I wanted in my outdoor kitchen. So I think it's important at this age to just do what you want and don't worry about, what happens down the road. Do it and enjoy it.
Here's another element. Comfort on furniture. I know it's tempting to go online and buy it, but when you go into a store and can sit down, the comfort that's available in outdoor furnishings and good outdoor furnishings is amazing. So if you can make your outdoor space super comfortable, you'll use it so much more. And so it's something to think about. Yeah,
and on that same kind of note, for like specialty retailers like our store, and there's plenty. There's, in this area, in our area, we're in Gainesville, Florida. This area, they're everywhere. And our prices are the same as they are online. We have to be in that price range, but it's the stuff we sell is higher end. And so when people come in, they go, oh, well, that's kind of expensive, but they cannot buy anything we sell cheaper online. So I think it's important to really go to your local, outdoor kitchen company. And like for our outdoor kitchens, everything we do is custom. You don't come in our store and go, I mean, you can, but that's not how it's done. I want the 7-foot cabinet with this and this. That's just not how we do it. You come in and tell us what you want. We want to build something custom. And so a lot of the local smaller retailers like us, that's how we do our business. And so I think you get a better experience, and I think you get better products, and you'll get better support.
And you'll learn all your choices. Same with on the furnishings, and you learn all your choices. You may not have known things existed until you talk to a professional.
So when someone comes in to get an outdoor kitchen, do you look at what they can do cooking-wise how good a cook they are?
I'll ask
how
those
bad a
questions.
cook
You
they
ask
are?
that?
I ask
And
those
do
questions.
you gauge what they need to have from that?
100%. I mean, because, you know, and what's funny is we will get customers in that have been to other places or have been online. And they will come in sometimes and they will have this, I really want this grill. I'm like, tell me about how you, no, you're not ready for that grill. You don't know, I don't even know that I can operate that grill.
But wait, I watched a YouTube video.
Yeah.
So I do. I ask him, I said, how do you grill? What do you like to grill? Are you a griller? I mean, is this something that you're just starting for the first time? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's how you start a design. You may end up with a little side burner and a whole bunch of cook space. You never know.
Sounds like me.
So when people come in, what do you want to say to them? These are the things you should have together. Know, how many people, what your space is.
I think the space, do I have 10 feet to work with, or do I have 10 by 10, or, having dimensions, the layout of the house, the house plan is great, pictures, and you can go online and bring some, take some photos, do some photo searches online and say, I want something similar to this. This is the exterior that I like, because there's so many ways to do it. You can do poly material, you can do stucco, you can do tile. There's all these materials. So we got to have a little bit of an idea which direction to go.
What about budget?
Budget, yeah.
Do you say that first?
Well, people are scared to, it's hard to do that, because if you go, what's your budget? The first thing people think is, I'm not telling you my budget, because then you're going to go $4 over. But budget's good to know, because
Or
this is,
if they have it in their mind what they can spend. So when you tell them the price,
We do have to kind of, get there. We
Yeah.
have to get there because it matters. You can pick a $2,000 grill, or you can pick a $7,000 grill. And if your whole budget is $10,000, you're not going to pick the $7,000 grill for a kitchen.
yeah, we just had this happen not too long ago where a pool builder asked us to quote a 12-foot cabinet with certain components. And it came out to like $13,000 was the total. The homeowner came in and was like, well, I don't want those components. I want these. He picked all higher end components. The cabinetry is the same, but the components, it goes up to $22,000. Just same length, same finish, but different components. So it is important to have a budget, So, and most people do. I'm totally fine. That helps me help you.
When you were saying, what the beginning processes of this, oftentimes people are building or they're adding an outdoor space. And so the sooner if they're going to incorporate a shade solution like we do, pergolas and summer kitchens, the sooner you get people involved, you don't just start putting down your decking. We can help you make better design choices from the very beginning. You have to know where you can run gas. Where can you get the water if you want a sink or an ice maker? Where do you need electric if you're going to do certain things? If you're going to do furnishings, you still want to plan your lighting, so you need to know where your outlets are going to be. So, but we also do the whole thing. Like we'll build a whole paver space with a pergola and everything. So it's just better to get people involved sooner.
Because a good example of that is fire pits. You just think, I'm just going to run a gas line. Well, some of them need electric. So you want to chase in your electric, or at least put chases in for an electric and a gas. So,
Or they didn't run a gas line and they want to use natural gas so they don't have to swap out a tank, but they didn't run a gas line, and where they want that fire pit is in an area, now they're stuck with a tank. So just stuff like that we can catch.
What are some of the safety things that you tell people about when they come in and want to order this big elaborate kitchen?
Well, safety-wise, the most important thing is people understand gas, LP gas or natural gas. A lot of people come in and, we'll have a few people every year will tell me horror stories about gas. Something happened, when they were younger. But most of the time, that happens as user error. And if people understood the difference between LP gas and natural gas, I think that it would make more sense to them, when you go to light a grill, knowing that LP gas is heavy. It's like water, so it's going down. And natural gas is light, so it goes up and dissipates a little faster. So, and knowing, making sure that you have vents in the cabinet. So if there is any leaks or anything, that the gas has a place to go. But I think really making them, that's the most important part, because gas is the danger in this whole thing.
It's the most dangerous thing. And when we're done with the kitchen, if our customer isn't comfortable with those things, we'll go out and show them how to use it.
What about the slippage and, just getting around in your area safely?
Well,
Yeah.
there's some surfaces that are, are a little bit worse than
A little
others.
trickier.
Yeah.
Especially if they have a little rain come in.
Travertine or tile tends to be the most slippery. I know that there's, things that they can do to the top of it. We don't do it ourselves. We do build the outdoor kitchens bottom up, and the pergolas, and we do all of that. But the flooring is not something that we do. So I'm not sure how they treat travertine, but there is a process they can use to make it have a little bit of grit to it.
Yeah, so we sub out that stuff, but they will also be the expert in that area. We'll be talking to the homeowner, but it is something to consider, because it certainly can get real slick, especially with a little layer of mildew.
Well, also, I like brick.
Yeah.
That I've seen the brick recently with what's between it, the
Grout.
grout, and that is not slippery at
Yeah,
all.
that's very nice.
I think that's something you have to think about, because I have busted it on patios,
Yeah.
and not necessarily, they weren't travertine, just regular concrete patios. So what do you hope families gain from these outdoor spaces?
Memories, just hanging out with your people. It's a good thing.
Relaxation.
Yeah, little peace of mind, little place to go outside to, throw on a burger or something
Watch the
more
stars.
elaborate. Yeah. I think it's all about the family and just a cool place to relax and to cook and watch TV or whatever.
You have a favorite menu you guys like to put out?
Favorite menu?
Yeah, entertaining menu. What's your favorite
It
thing?
depends on the circumstance, but we just had a huge Super Bowl. Not huge. There was 30 people for a Super Bowl. It was at our friend's house. Their beautiful outdoor area, but we did there just sliders and chicken wings, right? Because for football that made sense. But sometimes we'll do
at our house we do a lot of salmon.
Yep.
So I love salmon.
Boston butts.
Yeah.
It depends on the occasion,
Yeah.
right? So the food has to match the occasion.
So I like salmon with a nice salad and some vegetable that we've put together. But the star will always be the salmon.
The protein.
Yeah.
The protein.
The protein.
So, just real quick, is there anything else you would like to tell us today?
I think that this is a really important thing to think about. And again, the most important thing I think at this point in our lives is if you're going to do an outdoor space, do it for yourself. Do something. Think about what you can see yourself doing, and pick things for you. Don't pick them for somebody else down the road. Make this space yours, and you will not only use it more, you'll love it more.
Make it simple too. Don't try to
Absolutely.
especially when you're 55 plus. At this point, I don't wanna
Less stuff is less stuff to maintain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Low maintenance is good.
Thank you very much for coming in today. We've enjoyed it. Everyone loves cooking out. Make sure you're properly dressed for the occasion with some merchandise from Retired Life Wish You Were Here. Grab your Retired Life Wish You Were Here shirt, pour something cold into one of our insulated tumblers, and claim your official seat by the grill. Because retirement means you've earned the right to relax, entertain, and maybe even take full credit for the food, whether you cooked it or not. Visit our website and gear up for your next gathering. And remember, retirement looks better outdoors. And today we have a gift for you, which is our beach bag.
you.
that I really enjoy carrying with me.
Awesome.
And thank you once again. And if you liked our episode, please subscribe and hit follow. Thank you.